So looking at this function, what you're going to notice as the independent value increases or decreases, the dependent value increases or decreases. Okay? So let's think about a couple of different functions. Let's say we had our x was the size of a home, and the y was the cost, sorry, to heat the home. Okay? What do you think is going to happen? As the size of the home decreases, what's going to happen to the cost to heat it? So if the size of the house decreases, the cost to heat the house would also decrease. If the size of the home increases, the cost would increase. You're not going to get a bigger house and a lower heat, or a smaller house and a bigger heat. Okay? With this modeling, this is what you're going to typically see. So there's a lot of different things you can think of. Now, I get it in the real world. I live in an old home. It might cost a whole lot more to heat my house because it's an old leaky home. But we're talking typical, this is what's going to happen. This is what you can expect to happen. Okay? So, some of the ways to represent a function is with this data table. Sorry, y'all. This is one way to represent a function. I can take this set of ordered pairs, and what can I do? I could put them in a graph, right? I could draw a line. I could graph these. So I can use a table, I can use a graph, and a lot of times you can just use a picture to represent something. Okay? There's several ways to do this. Well, what we had done earlier was we utilized an equation, and we would plug in maybe a value for x to find out what y is. So an equation is another way to represent a mathematic model. An equation, a formula, something along that line would also be another way to represent this data. So when we talked about there was a relationship, well, at 6 a.m., if it's 50 degrees, you would certainly expect in most cases that by the time noon comes around, it's getting later in the day, it's going to be a higher temperature. And you can really see that here when we talked about those relationships. So, just a little bit. We're going to do some more in the next video.